Hey everyone, I'm Zain Baig, this is Auto Group, and this is the 2018 Mercedes-AMG E63S. This car looks fantastic. We did do a short drive on this car a couple videos back, but this is a full review to cover everything you need to know about this car. Starting off, this does have the diamond white metallic color on the outside. It looks gorgeous. Inside it has black with the non-sport seats, and this does not have carbon ceramic brakes. It has the big 20-inch black wheels though, which look great. And plus, you don't really need carbon ceramics unless you're tracking the car. So let's move on to the rear of the car. This has a couple different packages that are gorgeous. It has the panoramic roof and the blacked out accents. It's called the night package, which looks great. Also, it has the LED lighting package and the sport exhaust system, which we can take a look at later on. But it looks great in white. And once again, also special thanks to Mercedes of Barrington Motorworks for providing this vehicle, and we talked to our sales consultant Tony Kasha for providing the vehicle. And let's go ahead on the inside and take a look at a couple features. So for the interior of the Mercedes-AMG E63, this one does not have the Alcantara steering wheel that we showed you in the other video, but this does have the fully leather wrapped steering wheel. It feels awesome. I don't know if I would still prefer this over the Alcantara one. I feel like the 9 and 3 on this one is a bit less, you know, thick compared to the Alcantara one, but still it's absolutely fantastic. And I mean, look at the double displays, right? There's 12.3 on one side, 12.3 on the other. It makes it for a huge screen. Beautiful black leather used everywhere, and I love these comfort seats. I don't really like the sport bucket seats that much, but these ones are gorgeous. They feel comfortable and they look comfortable too, and they hug you nice and tight. And they have those multi-contour bolsters, right, where you can choose in and out to bolster. And it does have the performance exhaust, which is what the other car did not have. So it has this little button right here, right? You press it once, boom, the performance exhaust is on. Flick it up to race mode. I think if you adjust to your, hold on a second. Oh, okay, race is all the way down. All right, so race, it puts everything in sport, right? Sport plus for the suspension, and the engine is in race mode. Everything is full, right? The exhaust is full, and it sounds awesome. This has a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8, the AMG signature V8. It makes 603 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. It sounds amazing as well as feels amazing when you get it out on the road. That car that we drove before was under break-in period, so we didn't get to like wall floor it or anything. But this car is at like 3,000 miles, I think 3,300. You could come pick this up at Mercedes of Barrington. So let's go ahead and listen to it. Gorgeous. For the middle storage compartment, it's pretty nice. It's good. It has great padding on the top. Very good materials overall, you know, leather everywhere. Yeah, it feels so good. All these vents, you know, they make that little click, and you got the little thing to close in and out, and it's just so nice. What a pleasant place to be, right? I mean, the M5 is awesome, but the interior of this car is really what brings it home. It's got the panoramic roof, which closes and opens in a really, really cool way. That is so cool. So this is me sitting behind myself, and I fit awesome in the back. I'm 6'3", and this car, what's awesome about it is that it has these little, you know, indents at the knee area, so you can fit very comfortably in this car. I really like it. It also has some Alcantara insert in the seats, and I feel like what Mercedes did is that it's at the place so you don't really like fall out of your seat, you know, because Alcantara is grippy material for your clothing and stuff. I really like that. Also, if you open your armrest thingy, bam, this little thing comes out. You also got your little cup holders, and then you can put in, and if you don't want one of them, then boom, you can only have one. So that's pretty good. I like that. A lot of good features, you know. It has good room, nice. I love how it's kind of like cozy, and this mood lighting is fantastic. You can choose 64 different colors for your ambient lighting, and look at the interior. It is absolutely gorgeous. So anyways, a couple more features like the trunk space, and let me show you the engine. After that, we could just go ahead and go on the drive. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at the trunk. It's an electric power. Look how fast that goes up. That is insane. I've never seen that in a car before. And it has a lot of good deep space inside. You got your little Mercedes first aid kit, just like, you know, how Lexus be giving you that stuff. And then you got your cover thingy, which is awesome. And then you have one touch close, and bam. And then obviously when you're standing back here, you hear that exhaust go. But anyways, let's look onto the front and let me show you what's under the hood. Alright, so this is a 4-liter bi-turbo signature Mercedes engine. It's made by someone by the name of Arthur Mins. So basically with these handcrafted signature engines from the AMG division, they also make engines for Pagani, like the V12, the signature AMG V12. But for this car, it is custom made by only one person. So even if that person leaves, their build time is about 3 hours to make one of these engines. But if they leave early or something happens or they're not done in time, nobody else can finish it. They just put a cover over your engine, and then time the person returns, he's got to make the engine complete again, you know, to really fulfill the philosophy of the one man, one engine, right, for Mercedes. Anyways, looking at the car from the front, it has those big, just like the AMG GTR has, it's got those big openings in the front for your filter, right? And then it's got all the sensors up front, you know, you got your radar, cruise control, everything is behind that. And it has the night package, so this thing is blacked out, and I think this one is also. It looks great, honestly. I still prefer this car in black, I think, and that matte gray that you get. It also has that Mercedes logo projector, which is an option. I think it's like 300 bucks, but when you open your doors, just, you know, when you open it, you can see whatever you're driving, and then bam, another Mercedes Benz. Yeah, sounds awesome. It's got a little like loading page and everything. Well, okay, as this car starts up, let me show you what I'm talking about. The other features are very, very cool. So when you are driving this car, it is on all-wheel drive, right? And it splits the torque. So I think when you go into race mode, it's 90% rear wheel drive, and or else it's usually like 60-40, I think, right? And then it could even send a lot of power up to the front. I've heard like 40%, I think, maybe a little bit more. But let me show you another couple of cool features. You could change the display up front. Press home, you go to scroll over, you got these little touch buttons, designs. You got progressive, which looks great. You got sport, which is gorgeous. And then you got classic. Classic is one of the best. I really like that. Everything is simply laid out. It's fantastic. Over here in the middle, here are your awesome controls. So you got dynamic select, right? You could switch in between your modes. It gives you a picture. You can also tune these to your liking, especially when you go into this one, individual. It says adjust, and you could choose whatever you want. You go on to adjust, and you could choose the drive, the suspension tuning, right? That's really cool. And then a couple other features, let me show you also. You got engine data, vehicle data. In engine data, you got things like your horsepower and torque. In vehicle data, I think you got all your let me click on that. Actually, I want to be sure what that is. So okay, so it tells you the tire pressure and everything, and it tells you the temperature, a lot of different stuff like that. I think, oh yeah, it tells you your exact throttle response that you're putting in your throttle input. It calculates that, just like the video game I play, Project Cars 2, that also has that. Well, yeah, that's interesting stuff for the track and stuff. Besides that, there's dynamic data. In dynamic data, you got things like your boost again, you got your G-force calculator, which is really nice. In the center again, you got your suspension settings, right? So I think when it's completely off, this is comfort, and then one click is a little tighter, and then 2 clicks is super tight. Then traction control is right here, manual mode is right here, exhaust button is right here, auto start stop is right here, so when it's at a stop sign, it you know, turns on and off. And you got your parking, your sensors and everything comes up over here, and you could choose between a bunch of different settings, and those camera angles are awesome, and it's super high quality, which is great. Another thing is that when you press on home, let me also show you how to engage those modes like drift mode and stuff. So as you're sitting here, what you want to do is, first of all, go down to race mode. After that, you go hold down the sport handling mode, and now it's completely off. You hold it until it switches off of sport handling mode. Then you put it into manual mode with 1 click. I think, yep, and then drift mode, and then you paddle up again once you hold, and now drift mode is active. Now this car is 100% rear wheel drive, no stability control, no traction control, and the front motors are disconnected. So if you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna buy this car, I'm not gonna be able to hoon drifts and stuff, you absolutely can. And you could do the same in the M5 too, but I prefer you go ahead and buy the E63. But anyways, another couple of cool features. Let's turn all that stuff back on. Cancel drift mode, put traction on again. All right, now we're chill again. Anyways, yeah, that's basically it for the car. I think it's time we go on to the drive. Alrighty, so starting off in the E63, right now we're gonna start in comfort mode. You could still hear the exhaust, you could hear the engine a little too. This is in the softest setting, and we just want to cruise because the last time I drove this car just a little bit, it was only driven in race mode and only in Sport Plus, right? And obviously when you're driving this on a day-to-day basis, you don't always want to be going crazy, right? At least I don't. Like, you want to be able to relax. Plus, this is a Mercedes-Benz after all, right? Before AMG is Mercedes, and that's what this car is, an E-Class. So you want to be comfortable and stuff. So I wanted to try it out in comfort. And the suspension tuning and everything, and the steering wheel is just so light and smooth. The steering wheel is still heavy, obviously. You know, you could tell what you're driving. The engine sound and all that tells it. But almost, it's like if somebody doesn't know about the recent history of this company, when they drive this car, they're probably just gonna be like, hey, this is a Mercedes E550, you know what I mean? And managing it in tight spaces is fine. It's not bad. It's totally good, and it just drives like a normal sedan. Well, that's it. That's pretty much it for comfort mode. Then we go on to, what is it? The next one is sport, all right? So this is a little bit more sporty. You could hear the engine more. This car has the performance exhaust, right? And I don't think the steering really weighed up too much, but let's just see. Alright, so it is punchy, right? But the engine isn't that loud. And when you put your foot into it, you could tell the car is ready to get up and go. But obviously that's not the mode you really want to be in when you're driving this car. Another one down is Sport Plus, right? This is the really nice and sporty one. The torque split is not fully 90% like it is in race mode, I think. But you could hear the exhaust more. If you could hear that, that sounds great. And the brake response is great. Yeah. Sounds great. You know, one thing I noticed is that the transmission feels a bit busy at the lower RPMs. I noticed it kind of like gives you a jerky motion with like almost like a dual clutch, but it's not a bad thing, right? This car is very, very performance based. That's not a bad thing. It's not like this is an S-Class. Then the final mode, before of course obviously rear wheel drive mode, is race mode. And in race mode, the car feels very racy, as I shall demonstrate. One thing that's a bit strange to me, just a bit, is the fact that the accelerator pedal is set a bit high and my foot isn't completely arching up with that. And the reason why that's a little weird is because you're not getting the most sensitive throttle response that you should be getting. Oh, it's in manual. So automatically it throws you into manual in race mode, which sounds great. Okay, let me actually try it out in manual. You know what? We'll stick with this. Sounds great. The downshifts sound awesome. It's got very, very limited pitch and dive, right? Like an all-wheel drive car is mostly known to have that. But it's really fun in race mode, definitely. It's very nice. I love the shifts. It's very, very quick. But you know what? To me, the car isn't always as enjoyable. Any car I've driven so far, except for the Lexus LC500, hasn't been that fun in manual mode. But it sounds fantastic. In manual, you can really enjoy taking it all the way to 7K. But obviously, it's not as interesting. The transmission shifts good. It definitely shifts good, but not great. And that is what is not so good about manual mode. You notice the jerkiness that I have?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really weird. It's the problem I have right now is that the delivering the power isn't smooth. Like I've done this in every single car where I floor it a bit. Not really on the turn, but as soon as you get on the straight, right? But for some reason I'm noticing something a little weird. That it has this weird jerkiness to it. And that's with the throttle response. Since it's artificial, it sends you flying forward. You see what just happened? Like you get pushed back really, really quick. And that's not that comfortable to me for this type of car. But it does drive fantastic in whatever mode we are in. Now, one thing, the final mode. Alright, so you press and hold this once, you press and hold traction once, and it puts it in the sport handling mode. And after that, you press it one other time, you hold it, then press manual, both paddle shifters, and confirm. I'm gonna be very gentle with it, obviously. I think most of the time what you have to do, especially when you're in this mode where it's fully rear-wheel drive, here's the thing. You might think that if you're gonna ever drive rear-wheel drive, that you could drive it on the street, but the thing about that is that stability isn't on and traction isn't on. On top of that, the other thing is that it disengages at 70 miles per hour, so as soon as you hit 70, all-wheel drive comes on again. And the problem is, it's not really, like, what I'm feeling right now is that two things. The car is way too sensitive at throttle response, and the gear response isn't as fast as I would like it to be. And that's really weird. So I don't think this is a suitable mode at all for the road, like many people think it is. But you really have to like go at second gear. You see how it's like you're not gonna be able to enjoy this on the road. It has way too much power, so you just wanna turn on traction control. Drift mode is canceled. Take it off. Manual mode, that stuff is just for the track. So anyways, let's just have fun with the car in race mode, because that is the better mode to drive in. And the steering wheel feels great with the leather padding. I really like it. I haven't driven the new M5, right? The main competitor of this car. This car is great to drive. It's just a bit sensitive when you're not used to it. Especially when you let off the gas, you like get sent forward. I don't know what it is, but for some reason there's something with this car that as soon as you let off the gas, it just kind of like really like gets tied down. Another car I noticed that in was the Audi R8. Sounds great, sounds excellent, and it's very fun to drive. Let's put it into Sport Plus. Overall, the time with the 2018 E63S has been fantastic. I love driving this car. It's so interesting to drive something so powerful, and it's in a four-door sedan configuration. A couple of negatives I felt was the gear shifts weren't as fast as I would like them to be in manual mode, and the other thing is that the comfort and everything was fine. That's not a problem. Like a lot of other reviewers have said that the suspension setting is too hard. I thought it was great. The only other negative was that it was driving a bit too sensitive in race mode, especially. I noticed the throttle response was a bit too snappy, so they gotta leave a little bit more numbness at the top of the pedal so you can have a better driving experience. In comfort mode, it was really, really good. The throttle response was perfect, but then obviously the exhaust was quieter, so we would have to tune the settings to really figure that out. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of Auto Group. Make sure to like and subscribe for weekly videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Also, special thanks once again to Tony Kashif at Motorworks of Barrington, Mercedes, for providing the vehicle. Oh yeah. That is fantastic. I don't think anybody is going to be happy except for the person who's driving and their family, really, or their friends. Everybody else on the road is going to be like, oh my gosh, and stuff. But this car just sounds and looks gorgeous. Awesome car.